Welcome everybody to our 131st webinar of our series. This is the 8th one of our of the third year since we started doing these from March of 2020. They've been very successful. Well, one of the things we've done is we have introduced RayStudio 3 analysis, the beta version here. And we promised at the time to do updates as the beta just continued to get worked on and get better, and the software team has been doing a lot of that. And this is the next in that series. This is update number 10, and tons of changes in the last few weeks. And one of the things I'd like to do publicly, even while we're recording here, is to talk about the amount of feedback that we've gotten. I know a lot of you have downloaded it and have been working with it and continue to send emails to us of bug fixes and feature updates and all the different things, or just something that doesn't quite work right the way you think it ought to. Those have been extremely helpful. Apologize ahead of time of some of those that maybe haven't gotten done yet, but they are being compiled, and as long as you continue to send them to software@aimsportline.com, we'll continue to add those to the list, prioritize them, and get those into the software. I think you're going to see, those of you that have been keeping up with the updates, you're going to see a really large difference in the last couple of months, and certainly in the last 2 or 3 weeks when you get the new version here shortly. Lots of bug fixes, lots of things that are working, huge speed differences for everybody. So looking forward for all of you to see that. But continue to send us your feedback. That's what it's really all about. It is so helpful, and I know the software team has been very appreciative of that. Even though maybe sometimes you feel like it, I don't want to send that, don't want to overwhelm them or something. But go ahead and please send it. Even if you send it and 10 people have noticed the same thing, that's a helpful thing. So continue to do that. So our guest today, somebody that we've worked with here quite some time, Emiliano is here with us again, and he's going to join us and talk about some of the changes, some of the updates, maybe even go through a few new things that he's talked about before, but have been tweaked a little bit. So Emiliano has been here. This is his 13th time he's co-hosted with us. He is the head of the software team at AIM in Italy, and thank you, Emiliano, for being here. I sure appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, Italian time to all of you. Good morning for all of you American friends.
Perfect.
And yeah, what to say about me? I do apologize for me not speaking that well, but tonight I discovered that it's my microphone, it's not me.
You still have a bit of the Italian accent, obviously, but the microphone is way better this time. Hopefully, everybody will work there. You do an amazing job with your English, and we all realize how hard that is, and it's no. and you've done you actually do a very good job. It is not difficult to understand at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump right in. The idea is today we're going to go ahead and just jump right into live data. We're going to share Emiliano's screen and jump right in and just show the differences of since 9 to 10. Not all of them, obviously, because there have been literally hundreds, but we're going to show the main ones. And the other thing that I want you to do is in the chat, we're going to share some links for those of you that would like to download that data. I wouldn't do it. Maybe you can get it started during the webinar here today, but there are video and data files we have used as demonstrations and have made available in the past. We're going to link all 3 of those into the chat box. If you're watching this later in YouTube, they're going to be in the description box below. So if you want to kind of match up with what Emiliano is doing, or you're going to try RayStudio 3 analysis for the first time, there is some sample data files in this description box, or in the chat box over here. There's a file from Watkins Glen from Matt Romanowski at Trailbreak that is what Emiliano is going to use today for the most part. There's one from VIR that is one of our AIM techs, Brick, is running his street Subaru around in a track day kind of an event. And there's also another one from Matt from Lime Rock. Those all have really good video data, lots of channels, lots of things you can play with. It's what we test with a lot here. So those three are available to you to download and use as you wish. So, okay, I'm going to stop my share now and get Emiliano to share his screen, and he'll jump in. And there you go. Yes, we do see it. And
okay.
You can go ahead and just take over and start going. If you have questions, put them into the question and answer box, and we will try to feed them in, although we are going to be covering a lot of stuff fairly quickly. So there you go, Emiliano. Go at it.
Okay. Just to start, I would like to speak about a fix that's not shown here because I now do not have any device connected. But we did some fixes on the driver's installation for the SmartCam. That due to some improvements in the last days of the operating systems, generated some possible issues with our installer for brand new installations. So we have some fixes in that. We also have some fixes into the SmartCam communication. These were due to some updates of Windows 11 operating system, and we fixed them. So it's all working at the moment with this release that will be soon available. Let's jump back to the analysis part. Here into the main database window. One thing that maybe some of you immediately notice is that now you have also the possibility to hide the preview in case you have to manage many files. You have to rearrange some files into collections. Now you can have you can also hide the preview, so to be quicker in selecting and moving files from the database to the collections. Another thing we modified is that we now have an import button, because we had a couple of feedbacks of the people not finding immediately the way to import data into the main database. So the import button is one of the main toolbar buttons now.
That was one that I found a lot of people really struggled to find that import under the cogged wheel, and it's very nice that we now have a button that we just directly to bring that data in.
Yep. Another thing we have been adding, we had a request because here into the main database we normally group we group on the left per weekend and per racetrack. And within the right part, we group sessions by day. So you have all the sessions of a day. You can sort all the sessions within a day for, say, the best time or the number of laps. But now you can also, going here, you can also unflag the group by day selection, so to have the possibility to sort all the data of the weekend and have maybe the run with the best lap time of the whole weekend. It's an immediate, it's a very prompt view to look for sessions of the complete weekend. So let's.
I know that's a big one, and I know our very own Matt Romanowski, that was one that he was after the data that you're showing here. That'll be very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think it was an email from Matt that originated my coding.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so let's jump back to some other data. Just to stay with the Matt's data, I normally find that it's comfortable to use manual collection to do this. I want to show people some data. I arrange them into the collection so to be quicker in finding them. Let's go here to the time distance view. What's changed since the last presentation? Here in the channels list, I now added the possibility to sort the channels that are displayed here on the list just using this window. If I wanted to arrange, say, the shocks data before the RPM. So let's go clicking here. You see that the shocks front left and front right that I arranged just before the RPM are shown here, and the same applies if I show the data, and you will see that. Okay, I'm clicking wrongly. Okay, if you see that here in the sorting, I selected two of them before the RPM and the other two right after the RPM. Now they are shown in exactly the same way here in the channels list, and they got the same arrangement here when I go to tiled. It's keeping the arrangement I give my data, my channels here. This is a long requested feature, and it's being added right now.
An interesting change that you just showed me there that I've actually struggled with. You filtered in the channels list, and then you did your custom sort, and it is only showing those channels. Is that right? If you did your custom sort right now, I did not know that, and I've been struggling trying to get that big old long list and getting my order the way I want. I didn't know I could filter first and then do the custom sort, and it would only filter. It would be based on the stuff that I had filtered.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, that would be helpful, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's very handy.
Yes.
Another. This one is a fix and it's not a new feature. I fixed this part here that could result in being hidden when you select a new lab, you move to another window and come back here. This window could result in being hidden, and we introduced a couple of improvements here. There are still some chances to get a hidden map if you zoom in or zoom out too quickly. You see, it's not happening now, but there are chances in which it still happens, and the solution is just to move a little bit the map. It gets redrawn, and all your data are shown here. We are still coding some improvements on this, but they are not available now.
Getting closer and closer. The redrawing on those maps has been something that was pretty bad early on, and it just keeps getting better and better. So if you guys see a map that doesn't get any lines like he was showing, even if when you get down in there and you actually see a map that was drawn without anything, if you just hover over it and zoom in and zoom back out, the line work will appear. And but just keep in mind that it's they're still working on the rest of the fixes, but they're 90% gone, so that's good.
Yep. Another thing that is of recent introduction is the possibility to select the line width and the dot size. But thing that we added recently is that if you control click on this icon, you can quickly switch from lines to dots, and it's a handy thing too. It's a thing that few people know.
Very quick.
Yeah, it's rather quick to identify maybe some spots of any possible interest. This is a well-known feature. Double click on a split to zoom right to it. Double click again to get back to the whole lab, and I noticed that few people know this, that if you double click on the first or on the last split, you get the zoom on the whole straight line. You see the split number 24 and the split number 1 are displayed together. The same if you double click here. This is, I think, as I told you, it's a thing that that few people notice.
And it's very important because almost always people want to change their map start finish line positions because we're breaking up a straightaway, and what
Yep.
is it, and this was nothing more than a fix for that, so we can retain the start finish line at the start finish, and look at data just with a single click of the entire straightaway, the straightaway leading up to it and the straightaway into turn one, and that is very, very helpful.
Okay. Another thing that that can be useful if you select any zoom of your data, and you click on this scissors icon here on the movie on the movie panel, you get the whole movie cut to these exact time
Limits.
interval.
Yeah.
And you have a small movie with only the things you need, only the time slice you need maybe to export for your social media or whatever.
Technical, somebody there, the tech wants a question of it, or you're a driver coach and you only want to pinpoint out, and then the file sizes are, I don't know what you're doing there, but if it's truly just snipping, but it seems to be compressing a little bit as well, the file sizes are very, very reasonable. You can typically even email, seems it's close enough that you can even email smaller videos.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's not compressing. It's not adding compression. It's the compression factor is the same as the original
Okay.
MOV file. So
it's just making it smaller. Okay.
Yeah, it's just cutting the part you need.
Okay.
Okay. Something new that we added here into this part is the track report. I think I introduced this also the last time. The track report is split based. You can change the split you want to analyze just by clicking on it. You zoom out the map, you click a new split, and the zoom and the split will adapt also in this right part window. The left part is just showing you all the laps on the map. Maybe here the default colors are not the best. If we switch to if we switch to default mapping, you can see that that the coloring maybe is a little bit better. As long as you hover your mouse on onto a new lap, the lap will be highlighted also on the right part. This tell me.
Or you hover over that part over on the right side, and it colorizes the lap in the map. So it's pretty handy.
Absolutely the same. Yeah. It's pretty handy. And here, this right part is has exactly the same feature as normal channels report. The only difference being that this report is split based, and you can change the split just by clicking here on the map. Let's switch back to this part. Okay, you select the split and okay, and it's displayed the split. This split setting is global. So if after selecting, if you jump back to data movies, the selection is applied also here. Here on the report, one important thing to know is adding items. So I can add quickly select the channels and add the minimum and maximum, just minimum and maximum of speed. You can also have a side channel. So if you want to know, in this case, the RPM is the side channel. So these are the minimum of my GPS speed, and I can show here the value of RPM channel at the exact point of the minimum speed. The same applies to maximum speed and to all the other channels you want to show. Channels can be sorted using the same sort icon you have, just drag and drop. So if you want maximum before minimum, here you just drag and drop the items here in the setting dialog, and they will be rearranging into the report.
This is a big one that I heard a lot. I heard a lot of users talk about that, wanting
Yeah.
to resort their channels order ever since Ray Studio 2, and you now have it in Ray Studio 3. So there
Yeah.
you go, guys.
Yeah, here it is. As I told in the other webinars, you can show and hide the statistics on every channel. You can colorize the report the way you like the most. Here you have histograms. You have no colors, the histograms, and the full cell color. And if you sort, you get the color changing from the lowest to the highest accordingly to the column you sort for. Also here in the left part, you can get the color scale for all the lines into lab from red. The worst time is red and the best time is the green here. So you can, in this case, it's not that meaningful, but in case you on a corner you try different lines, you can immediately see which is the one that's getting the best split time. Let's move on into the scatter layout. Okay. Also here we added the sorting management. You can custom sort the channels, but it applies only to these channels into the channels list. This because in the right part of the scatter plot is managed right per channel, so you cannot decide which is the order of these channels. In case you want to apply an order of your own, you are free to add windows on the right or on the bottom to separate the channels you show per every window, and you get what you want very easily. Here in the same as the time distance applies to the scatter plot for moving from lines to dots. Dots is the default, but in case you want, you can fully customize the plot. I added. We noticed that it was a kind of difficult for someone. It was not intuitive to find how to change the X channel and the coloring channel for this plot. So we added some icons to make maybe to induce some user into clicking it and to see what's for. Here I can select which is the I'm now placing the lateral GPS lateral acceleration channel as X axis. You can see it's pretty handy, and I'm now using the GPS speed to color this plot. Okay, so
Much
it's
much quicker, much nice little shortcuts.
yeah, the way to do it that we had before was through a right click or maybe here into the channels. You can select these. You right click a channel and you tell the software you want to use this channel into the scatter plot as y-axis, as x-axis, or as a color channel, and it's the same of doing using this icon. But we found this icon to be more intuitive for a lot of people. Another, we can move on into the histograms. Same as before for the sorting possibilities of these channels list. Another thing I forgot to tell before is that into the previous versions of the analysis software, these settings of overlapped versus mixed versus tiled were in common among all the time distance all the time distance plot in the different layouts. Now they have been separated. So if you select these to be tiled, you can still have these to be overlapped into the main time distance plot, or vice versa, as you like. Into the histograms, what did we add? We added these. I don't know if it was already into the previous beta. You can select the bins into being computed by time, by percentage, or by samples number. Here you have the histogram of having the bars showing the samples number in these channel interval. And another I think handy feature that we added here is this sum sign char that's here. It will if you press it, it will transform this histogram. Here we now have different bars we have one bar for every lap here. Okay, so the green bar is this one. Then we have the brown one and the gray and the gray one. If you click this one, it will transform into a single histogram, and this is the histogram of these 3 laps summed on.
Put
I can
together,
add yeah, all put together. I can add a fourth lap, and this is the histogram of the 4 lap. What is it useful for? You can select say the 3 laps and look at the statistics you look for, maybe tire temperatures, maybe accelerations, maybe potentiometers, but taking them only out of the 3 best laps of all the laps you did. Before it was possible only if the 3 laps were as in this case one close to the other one. But say suppose you are in this case. Before it was not possible to have an histogram of the best laps computed together. It will be joining only laps from the same session. So in case you have 2 sessions, you will be having 2 bars for every channel. Okay. Another thing we added, because it was a user request, is into the settings. And now we have the possibility to have more bins up to 30, and the histogram will be more specific. It will be considering a smaller interval of the channel values.
While you're thinking of the next one, Emiliano, I just want to make sure everybody understands. Again, we're going very quickly on purpose. There have been some questions, and there's lots of great comments in the chat box. Please continue to do those, even if we don't grab them, because we are planning for the next 5-6 weeks of webinars of what topics inside of Ray Studio 3 analysis that we're going to be doing, and your questions are going to be helping to populate those. So even if we don't get to those questions today, continue to put those in there, and it's going to help us understand the focus of our next group of webinars. So continue to do that. I appreciate it, and even if we don't get to those questions right away.
Yep.
And Jeff will answer that question just in just a few moments, Jeff.
Mm-hmm. I see the question from Johan in the question and answer box. Is it possible to look at the last and first sector when comparing lab 3 and 4? Yes, you can. If you double click here, you are shown the last and the first sector of the two labs you were looking right before. Yeah, perfect. This is okay. What else we have? We coded some new stuff into the split report. No, I mean we didn't code any new stuff into the split report. That's exactly like it was before. Here the default appears like it is now. Here again you can select which is the selected split, and here you can add, if you please, as another window the channels report for the selected split. I think it can be handy. It's the same window as that I showed here for the track report. Here is in the split report, and it's selecting the just selecting the split. You can see here the values of say maximum accelerations for every channel, just selecting a split. It's I think it's handy. Also here it's not by default, but it's easy to customize. I think we found a very easy way to customize the layouts of every window here in the analysis. Channels report, the same as before. Here we have a channels report window. This is referring to the whole lab instead of to a split. You see it here. This is referring to sector 9, sector 8. It's telling you the sector number you're looking at, while here it's telling you you want the complete map. The way you select the data here is the same as before. You can add channels here. You can have side channels. You can sort channels exactly as like you want. Here on the right part there is a graph in which you can select which are the channels that are displayed here. Click on here, minimum of longitudinal acceleration, and it's displayed as a Y plot. If you control click here on time, this is the control click on these columns is modifying what's displayed here as a x-axis. Okay, nice. If you want, you can lock the axis to any channel you want. So if you lock it to say lap distance is shown here, and no matter what you click on, this will stay on lap distance. You can control click to change this one, and you can do the same. You can lock to say lap time. You can unlock this. Okay, and so now this is moving with this is changing with your click, while this one will not be changing with your control click. It's up to you. This is useful because you can add just here at the bottom. You can add channels report graph. It's the name of this window. You can add the two of them, and you can say lock one and let the second one behave accordingly to your last click on the report, or you can also lock both of them. It's up to you. It's a very handy feature, and well. asking for.
Yeah, Ty says so basically we're getting the function of an XY plot in the channel report, and that
Yeah,
is true. That is
yeah,
exactly what
that's
is
true.
happening, and
Yeah,
multiple
exactly.
of them if you want, with some automation by what you're control and clicking. So it's a very, very powerful.
Hmm.
I'm
I,
gonna
I can, I can,
uh,
yeah, I can tell you that that in the future, not so far in the future, I will be adding here some trend line computation, so you will be able to compute trends into the channels report item. So it's a very requested thing.
very, very cool. Emiliano, I'm gonna if you would unshare your screen, I want to grab
Mhm.
mine so you can take care of a couple things while I took some notes of some of the things that came up there real quickly, and that I wanted to show. So if I share my screen, there was a couple of things, a couple of questions that came up in the chat that I wanted to make sure we all got. Number one was Matt mentioned it. This video clip button here allows not just the single segment as we kind of mentioned, but if you were to zoom all the way out and see the entire lap and you wanted to save that lap, it was your best lap of the weekend, you want to have it saved out so you can study it before you go back to the event next time, you can clip that and it will take the entire lap. Exactly, that Matt was mentioning. Or even maybe it's the lead in to the lap and the lead out of the lap. You can actually come in and hit your zoom button, and there's that entire lap. So let's grab maybe getting onto the front straightaway all the way through turn one at the after that lap, and now boom, we can click that and we snip out that entire lap plus a little bit on top of it. Or it could be 4 laps in a row. So the bottom line is that snip tool, saving out that video, is whatever is in focus in the graph. So that's really critical. Everybody understands that fully. That's very powerful. The search tool, Emiliano mentioned that. It's not just searching on the name; it searches on the channel type as well. So if you were coming in here and you typed in PSI, you will not only get the speed channels when he was typing in speed, you're getting everything that has a PSI function. So again, that is a very cool tool. And then the last one I was going to mention, but you did actually mention it in the end, was this laps tool button. We've mentioned it once before, but some people want to select not just from the bar down here, but just want to see the best 3 laps right off the bat, and no matter where they fall, and then boom, we've got them, and we're looking at them, and we're off and running. So just a couple things that I thought we would look at real quickly. I will unshare now, Emiliano. So it looks like you're ready to have it back. If you want to go ahead and share your screen, and we got about 10 or 15 minutes for the last couple of functions, I think, that you had coming. Go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, share screen.
There you go. Okay, you're back up and running. Let's go ahead and show us those last couple of things that you wanted to show us, and then we will take a couple more questions at the end and talk about next week's webinar.
Yeah, sure, no problem. We did some improvements also on OpenTracks side. I have here hill climb session. We added the possibility to manage to better manage the open sessions, also with the same features of the closed track. So there have been a couple of fixes also in track map computing into to compute a user open track. There was a bug in the previous release, and it has been fixed. What else? Maybe a thing that not everybody noticed is here on the left part. Here you have you are prompted by the software the number of the data and video sessions you have in this page. So these can let you immediately identify which are the the weekend, the event weekend in which you have a video for.
Okay.
I'd say okay. There have been some improvements into the math channels. I think they now are working okay. There were several bugs inside the channels. The feedbacks helped us identifying them, and I think they now are okay.
We certainly have within the first 2 or 3 of the next webinars, we're going to have a dedicated webinar on the math channel function. So everybody uh,
Mhm.
be ready for that.
Okay. And what else? Okay. Another thing that you will find to be missing in this time is the movies window. Uh, this because I think when you have a movie, an MOV file, it's so comfortable. It's so handy to analyze it, just importing it here and having the possibility to see the video. Okay, this is a stopped session. You can see the video and you can see also data compared to what we had before in the movies. I think this is I think it's way better, and so we took the movie off. And before the movies was monitoring a path on your hard drive. So it was not possible to choose which were the files you wanted to keep into a specific path. Here with the sessions database, you can select which are the files that you want to have in your database, and which are the files you want to analyze data of. Uh, I think I don't have that many new things.
Okay.
Uh,
Perfect.
I
Some of these fixes that Emiliano has talked about have been put together over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, all from feedback from all of you guys, and a couple of other folks that I thought I would mention real quickly that have been just so helpful with what we've been doing, which is the Matt Romanowski and James Colburn have been working with us and putting together just a ton of testing and a ton of versions back to us. So appreciate all of that stuff that they've been doing. One of the Emiliano, we've been working hard to get this. I stopped your screen share. Been working hard about putting all this together. What do you have to announce today that we're gonna do?
Yeah, we are announcing that basing on the feedbacks, we decided that the Ray Studio 3 beta is stable, is not no more crashing, is stable enough to move into the production. And so from I think now it's available as a release. So the analysis that in Race Studio 3 will be production from now on. We will keep the beta channel to work on new items and new stuff. So the beta channel will still be available for everybody, but also the main production branch will feature analysis from now on. Ray Studio 2 analysis will be available. We are not planning to remove it. So if you are used to use the Ray Studio 2, you will be able to do it as long as you don't get used to the new analysis, and if you wanted to stay with the previous one. So for us, it's
Yeah,
not a problem.
yeah. So Ray Studio 3. I went out and checked, and this is live, by the way. This is my Ray Studio 3 production. When we get done here today, it should already be available for everybody. Go ahead
It's
and
available.
It is
It's
available
available
right now.
now.
Yep, right now. This is my Ray Studio 3 Live. It went out and checked. Click on the little cloud icon. 352.00 is the latest beta version that we had been working with internally. So there are a bunch of fixes from the 51.20, I think, that which most of you guys were looking at in the public beta. So it's ready to go. Please take a look at it. As Emiliano mentioned, Ray Studio 2 is going to go ahead and stay up there as an option. It's just going to add the 3, just like we had inside of the beta. So everybody take a look at that. I appreciate all the hard work that all of the folks at Ames Sportline on the software team have done. It has been very, very helpful, and a lot of work has gotten done. So we do expect just a couple things I'd like to add. We do expect that many of you watching here today have been using the beta and have been doing a ton of feedback and giving us that feedback to the software team, software@aimsportline.com. There will be some of you that are watching this right now that have not loaded it because it was beta, and that perfectly understandable. And now that we've pushed it over production, we expect that we're going to see a lot more people begin to use it. And there will be another whole round of learning and a whole nother round of fixes that need to be taken a look at, just more fresh eyes onto the product. We want you to still continue. You can email myself and AIM here in the States, in North America, but always include that software at aimsportline.com. The folks there at the software team in Italy are continue to want to have all of those bug fixes and feature enhancements and all the different things you see. They need those emailed to them. That's their tool of choice as far as bringing the data information into them and being able for them to compile it, understand what the needs are, and of course prioritize and then make fixes. So continue to give us the feedback, even though it's now in production and ready for you to use. So keep that in mind. Emiliano, anything else you'd like to add about the process of people getting you guys the information you guys need?
Yeah, well, feedbacks and emails are always welcome. Please continue inform us on what you don't like and on what you do like. Another thing, I don't know if here is the correct place to say that, but Ray Studio 3 is being translated also for non-English users, so it's another improvement that we coded and will be soon available.
Certainly worth saying here because we have a very wide audience here, obviously, and
yeah.
so very, very good. There is a question there. Let's take a couple questions. We've got about another 5 minutes or so. There's some questions here that are talking mainly about going production with it. If I have the beta, will 352 overwrite the beta, or do I have to dump the beta? The beta is going to, Emiliano, you add to this a little bit, but the beta is still going to be out there. Doing this 352 will not overwrite that. The beta is still there. There's still going to be beta releases made before they go to production. So if you want to continue to help us, the newest version with the newest changes will still be in that beta version, and then they'll get translated to the production version. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, I did not compile a beta with the last fixes tonight, but I will do tomorrow. Tonight I prepared only the release. So if you want to see the last things that I just showed into the beta, I think you will need to wait up to tomorrow. Tonight, as I just told, I compiled only the release. Release and beta will continuously stay in parallel, so they are two different distribution channels. The beta will be a little bit more advanced. It will have some features before of the release, but it's up to you to select which one you want to use.
Tice does mention the math channels. You may have missed it, Tice, but with the math channels, there's been a lot of fixes in it. We think they're working fine. I have not had a chance to test it a ton, but we will be working on that behind the scenes just even in the next day or two, and then a full-on AIM webinar probably in 3 weeks or so, where we will go over the math channels specifically and spend the entire hour. So.
Yeah.
Okay. You see any questions in there that you might want to handle, Emiliano?
I see Charlie that asks for an automatic import. No, there is no automatic import from the beta to the release, but the import. I mean, to me, it's pretty handy to do it with a drag and drop. You can open an Explorer, Windows Explorer window, select the folder you want to import, drag and drop into the main database page, and the import will be automatic for all your files.
Bob Seville has a question there that I think
Uh-huh.
is something I hadn't thought about. But Ray Studio 3 analysis now being production, we've got this whole nother, like you said, a whole nother path. Do we have to import all of our configs into? They've had all their configs into the beta before. Do they need to redo all of the bringing in of the data, their user profiles, their track maps, user defined track maps, splits? How is that handling now that Ray Studio 3 is production?
At the moment, they all need to be exported from the beta and imported manually into the production version. They are completely in parallel. It's for some reasons it's better to do it this way because keeping the two branches separate, it has
Solves
some
problems.
solves problems in case there's a bug on the beta. It doesn't affect any configuration into the release. So there is a reason to keep them separate. And in this case, there are reasons for kind of merging or automatize something. We're trying to improve on this aspect, but now it's not ready. So at
Okay.
the moment, the only way is to export and import on
And that's
the.
a fairly straightforward step, and you can export those and this go right over to your Ray Studio 3 production now, and import them in, and you're going to be ready to go. One other thing, while you think of if there's any other thing you'd like to add here at the last minute, one of the things I'd like to share that the beta has gone through an entire process. Obviously, they've been working on it and sharing their updates for over a year, and in the last 2 or 3 weeks, they've worked very hard. And one of the areas that got a ton better was speed. It has always been in certain areas Ray Studio 3 analysis, even with huge data sets, was fairly quick. And but there were some other areas that were a little bit slow. I think you're going to find when you move to Ray Studio 3 analysis in production that the speed of clicking around and moving around is far enhanced. So be ready for that. See if it's that way for you, and give us some feedback. And if there's some areas that are a little bit slow, let us know. There's still some tricks in their toolbox that they're working on to add a little bit more speed here in the next few releases. But I think you're going to find that it's substantially quicker now.
Yeah.
So
As you said, we still have some cards to play, but we already played some of them.
Some big ones, and I know on my machine, and 2 or 3 machines that I have, and other people I've been speaking with, the speed has gotten way quicker. So even saving profiles used to be a fairly slow thing, not slow, but it'd take 5 or 6 seconds sometimes, and that is sped up tremendously. So lot of things happening. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate everybody. Let me jump ahead a screen. A big step for us, obviously. We're planning on how do we want to handle this. So for our this one here, of course, is being recorded, and we're going to place it up on YouTube just as soon as we can. We went very fast on some of those things. There was a lot of things happening in the background getting the production ready to go, so you could click on it right here at the end. And but go ahead and visit our YouTube page and check it out. Catch up with anything we missed. The support that we have always given and plan to continue to do is top notch. We'll be looking to hear from you via email or phone calls. See us at the track. Always great to see you guys out there, and we're working hard to make sure you get the best bang for your buck out of your data analysis tools here. the very next webinar, and this has been a bit of a struggle, and I'm still going through trying to understand it um, really well here. Where do we go from here with the webinars? But what I think we're going to do is we're going to basically step back. I've seen this in the chat and in the question and answer by a couple of people have mentioned the same thing. Basically step back and say, okay, let's build a fresh new set of webinars and specific focused training on how to use Ray Studio 3. We're going to have a whole lot of new people using it. And there have been a lot of changes, so of course we want to cover some of those. We're going to start that next week with James Colburn. James is here with us watching the webinar today. James is going to join us next week where we start that. We're going to talk about user profiles. We're going to talk about track maps at a deeper level, and okay, we kind of a reset and build some new training here. We're going to talk about how to best use these things, personalizing your Ray Studio 3 analysis experience, where okay, we've got this software, you're using it. Maybe you've just been playing with it occasionally, but using Ray Studio 2 for your race weekend stuff, you're going to start to use it. Maybe more full-time. Ray Studio 2 is still going to be available to you, obviously. But if you're going to start using it, how do you personalize it? How do you make it work best for you? There's a ton of tools they've built into here with the saved profiles and the track maps where you can actually name the segments instead of just numbers and things like that to make it personal for you, so it makes it work and do what you want it to do. James is going to talk about some of that, and the webinars that follow are going to be step back, focus back in on some deep training on Ray Studio 3 analysis now that it's production. So keep that in mind. Continue to feed me via email or with phone calls or however you wish of topics you think that you would like and in what order you think would be good as far as the Ray Studio 3 experience and understanding of. We're going to build a fresh library of videos that we can point people towards to cover certain things. So I appreciate that very much, and I appreciate James joining us here coming up at our next webinar. Contact information. Here's that email address I've talked about. If you have any feedback, or when you have feedback, and there's no doubt you're going to have that. I've seen a couple of things already pop up. Make sure putting it here in the question and answer in the chat is good while we're doing this, but in the next week's software at aimsportline.com, Emiliano's email address there. If you send the email to that address, it not only gets to Emiliano, but it gets the entire software team, and they can start to prioritize and fix bugs faster because of all that feedback. And even an email here and there that says, "Boy, I just love that new feature." It doesn't always have to be, please fix this, right? If you see something you really liked, let them know that too. I think that would be appreciated. Emiliano, thank you for doing this. Super busy schedule, and to come to get prepared and do this while doing the last few steps to get it to be into production. Thank you for being here. Is there anything else you'd like to kind of add on our way out?
First of all, thank you for having me here. Thank you for organizing such nice webinars. I'd like to add that I consider this release of Ray Studio 3 not as a final destination, but as a starting point. And it's a starting point that has been possible mostly upon all the feedbacks we had. So thank you everybody. Truly, thank you for all the mails, all the thoughts you share with us, and let's keep up.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank everybody for coming today. Thank you for being here for all of these webinars. Appreciate it very much. Looking forward to having James join us next week and start the process of even fine-tuning our training for Ray Studio 3 analysis now that it's in production. See you guys all next Tuesday. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your week, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.